is everything ready to go? Getting ready for the final time this season then. Give me 1 second, and then do a couple of things. I need to put in my what you call it, my keyboard. That way we have replays available to us this week. That's exactly what I'm going to do. If I can get a hold of it. Jesus, that was infuriating. Yeah. There we go. I have a hold of my keyboard, and now we can get set up. Alright, I have the keyboard set up. Reset for better win. No. Alright, I now need to put this into chat so everyone is aware of what's going on. Where's the stream link? There's the stream link. Hello to everyone just joining us. Hope you're enjoying yourself tonight. Hope you're getting ready for a long night ahead of us. GT7 driver and GT7 Esports. Alright, we are in a good position. We're gonna get ready to go sooner rather than later. We're going about 1/2 when everyone has joined. We've got everyone in. We've got an entire full lobby already, which is surprising. The lobby didn't go up that long ago. But either way, welcome to the final round of the season. I hope everyone is enjoying themselves tonight. We're going to have a banger around Le Mans here with 5 teams that are left over from the first 6 rounds. They've got everything going for them at this point in time. We'll see how everything is going to play out. Looks like we're just having a couple of people sort out their stuff. So let's run through the 5 teams and who's driving for what tonight. So we've got 2 Oil Kingdoms. They are in the green and black. You see the green, black and red of the what used to be the Falcon livery. Now the livery for 2 Oil Kingdoms. You got Finn driving, we've got Ahmed driving, and I think it's Mortal is the 3rd driver in the group there. And that everything up. It is Mortal, that's the 3rd driver in the group there. Monstercat just left. Then we've got Inferno, who are racing with Yella, Ono, and Nick tonight. And then we've got Project Platypus, who are currently in 3rd. They are driving with Badabig in the Supra, Perry in the Merc, and BX in the Vantage. And then we have NWR, who are currently 2nd, with Inkyo, with Jensen, and with Yassar racing for them tonight, looking to just try and get the club points as close as possible, because pretty much just by turning up this evening, we'll do a proper one for them later on, FGR have all but secured their chance at back-to-back title. They're driving with Millis, Attingran and Matty tonight. So provided they all finish the race and miracles aren't going to happen elsewhere, they should be in a very good place to double up. I think it's just asked if it's a big deal if number plates are wrong. But it's not, so he's just joining us here. In a minute, we'll wait on Mortal getting set up. And when Mortal gets entered in, we'll pretty much go. We'll go at 1:30. Allows people to get into the stream. Hope everyone is enjoying themselves so far. We got qualifying, and yeah, so we got qualifying for 10 minutes here, followed by a 23 lap race around Le Mans. Should last about an hour and 40 minutes thereabouts, I reckon. I just pinned this in for Beetle. Right, there you go. He's up to date. We are very much on time for once. It's a very rare thing in ALR to be on time, to be honest with you. We're going to get going in a minute here. So, what do people think for predictions in this race? I'm actually going to do a mic check right before we get going. Make sure everyone can hear me. Or if someone's going to reply in the comments, that'd be kind of helpful. Yeah, that's mic check done. I can hear myself on the stream. So we are good to go. We've got the keyboard wired up, so we've got replays back in stock. It is currently 7:30. Everyone is in the lobby, so for the next 10 minutes we're going to go around and qualifying then. Put the starting soon in. People aren't going to be... just make sure everyone is fully aware of what is about to happen. BXED Pole. I mean, he absolutely adores this track. I know that much. He adored this track. So I wouldn't be too surprised if that happened. There is no aura. Jensen should be a very good shout for this as well. That is very quick when he wants to be. We're going to get ourselves set up here. Very early. And the klaxon, so we are underway, and everyone's going to get out very quickly here because they need as much time as possible to get a couple of laps in. The timer is set 3 minutes. We'll see how things are going to unfold there. It looks like everyone's just getting out at the same time straight away. Look at this, there's a couple of people already fighting it out. Well, they're quali out lapping quali. They're all going to be round this track as quickly as they humanly can get we have a massive headwind down the back straight here, down the straight here. So time are going to be a lot slower than potentially anticipated. Given the fact that they aren't going to be able to hit the speed that they usually do. That 5.3 in the second wind is going to play a lot of tricks during this year, the rest of this season. So whether it's the rest of this race, the season is technically applicable there as well. That is extremely bad wind. BX did ask me to reset for more favourable wind, and I just told him no. So they're going to have to make do with that for the night. Because don't forget, it's not going to change to race either. It's not going to change into the race, so they're going to have to sit and make do with what they've got. See how it affects the lap times as we go along. So it is Yellow out first. Yellow followed by BX. I think Yellow might try and play for, might try and back off later on, see if he can play for some slipstream or something. So you're gonna need it. And you got BX and Ono after that. Yep, that's BX and then Ono, and then Yasar's got a penalty already. I tell you, that's not a good start to the night. That's probably indicative of how his night is gonna go. If that's how you're starting your outlap, that's a certain. Then you've got Ati after that, Nick, then Millis and Matty in 7 and 8. Mortal after that with Ahmed, Perry, Finn, Jensen, and Inkio with a qualifying ban. Actually, forgot to mention that the qualifying ban, I believe, for Project Platypus, so Badabig is going to sit and wait for the 10 minutes. He's going to start from the back of the grid in this one. Only 14 qualifying. We will see if everything is going to, realistically, how everything is going to go. Yep, I'm looking forward to this. I am very much looking forward to this. So right on with Yellow at the front then. So Yellow's going to be the first one on the track in terms of a qualifying lap here then. We'll see how he actually gets on with it during this one. Evening repeat. We will be focusing mostly on the second, well, the second place fight in the team's championship here, purely because FGR have, quite frankly, got so far in front that beating them would quite literally take a miracle. We'll keep an eye out on the second place fight during this one. Yellow's got BX, let BX go. So we'll realistically see how that's going to affect his lap. He's already all over the place, is Yellow. And that did not look great on the exit into the Dunlop curve at all. And it's got to get a little bit more solid than that. Look how loose he's leaving his car through the first sector of this lap. He's got to tighten it up. You're only going to get one more shot at this if you're lucky. Ono's got a penalty as well. Yellow definitely doesn't, but Ono does. BX still out in front there in qualifying here then, so we'll see how he deals with. Ahmed is letting a couple of people by, I think, because he must have had a bit of an issue himself, his teammate going around him down the straight. Not really a position where you could realistically give the slipstream either, which is interesting scenario for Ahmed to be in down towards the end of the first straight here, into the first chicane. We'll see if anything's going to change. So Yellow's had a bit of a wobble in the first sector. Arno's got a penalty. Let's see what BX is doing through this sector. 47.7. Is there anyone close enough? Oh, we've got a triple. We've got a triple here. And it's all the FGR boys attempting to work together, trying to bump each other down the straights. There's nothing wrong with this, obviously. Everyone's allowed to do it. I wonder how much this has benefited them. The answer is not very much by the look of that time. By the looks of that time, they're about 6 tenths of a second slower than what BX was. I'm now very intrigued at how everything is going to go here. We'll see as they go into the end of the straight. Yeah, definitely indoor cycling, just trying to get themselves right in underneath each other's cars, just get themselves enough of a bounce. So they seem to be doing fairly successfully at the moment. That slipstream's going to pull them along fairly well. Matty, Millis and Atty trying to get themselves into a good position for qualifying. See if they can work their way into the second half of this lap. The only issue with being in such a position is exactly that. If you get out of line, you're going to be in a bit of an issue, in a bit of a pickle for both you and the driver behind. So you've got to get it right the entire way, and now we're about to head towards the Porsche curves, and being behind each other all the way through down into that section is just definitively a bad idea. I wonder how this is going to work between the team then. Millis has definitely had the first run at this. He's going to have the lead of the 3 going into the Porsche curve. It looked very pedestrian as they went through that section of the track. And now they're all just trying to turn in sync with each other. They continue on. And all 3 of them make it through the section unharmed. BX did a 57.4 to start. Indoor cycling method trying to get involved here for the 3 FGR drivers. 3:58 for Yellow. Honor had a penalty, so that's not a representative time. Millis to the line now. Is it better than a 57? It's a 57.7, but Atty and Matty significantly quicker. 56.9 for Atty. And Matty did a 57.2. No one really impressive behind that. Perry did a 59.0. And he's currently in 6th. Probably should be putting up a little bit better of a time than that. Got to find themselves slipstream. That indoor cycling method worked for 2 of the 3. Millis not so much. And now we might be about to see the same from the 3 drivers here, because Mortal and Ahmed are not that far away from each other, with Beetle in front of them. This could be very interesting nowadays to look to replicate that time. That first sector still advantage more. Oh, that didn't look good. That looked wide. That looked like a penalty. 58.3 from Yassar. See what that put him in a second. Somehow not a penalty for Mortal down the straight. That looked like he was well over. And either way, none of them are close enough to really do anything. A real shame that they head into the first chicane here. Mortal a little bit deep again. He's going to get himself a little bit wobbly. The longer we go. Down the back straight. Ahmed is a lot closer now. They should start to get that little bit of a teamwork in. Going to be a little bit beneficial for them now. We're all on the final lap now. Everyone is on the final lap. Badabig didn't get a lap because of the qualifying ban, so everyone is on their last chance. Pretty sure, oh, that didn't look good for Mortal there either. He is playing with fire just a little bit during this one, I think. Got to get himself in a position. Yeah, Mortal got a penalty. That was not surprising in the side there. Nick has a penalty in the background as well. Ahmed won't have a penalty and needs to get by Mortal now. Going to the end of the session. It's the last lap for all the cars currently out on track. They have 3 minutes to get it done. I wonder if Mortal's just going to be here to be a tow for Ahmed for as long as humanly possible. I think that's probably the smart idea if he is. There's going to be a section here where he's going to have to give that position up, a place on the track up with a half-second penalty. And as a result, him and oh, and I think he may have just caught Ahmed as well. I think they both just screwed each other. That's really not good work there at all from two Oil Kingdoms who just get in each other's way. Ati is now pulling off onto the inside line. Again, Millis drops off the back of the two. So Millis' qualifying session is effectively done and dusted. What can Ate and what can Matty do? Currently a quarter of a second up on their own times. We go to BX at the front. BX is on the side of the track, so BX has crashed. BX has crashed. What is Yellow going to do now then? Because we go to the line with him and Ono. Ono in front, Yellow behind. BX was just sat there parked on the track. Inferno looking to improve. Inferno not going to do anything of the such. And then we've got the three FGR drivers, and it's better for two of them. Actually, all three of them improved, but one didn't beat BX. Artie beats out Matty by about half a tenth of a second, and there's your picture if you ever needed one. I think they're all aware that this is just going to be 23 versions of a victory lap. Ahmed up in a 6th. Yassar currently in 5th. He's got a chance here to put a name for himself here, but he's got to find a lot of time to do so. Inkyo directly in front of that. We'll see if Yassar's got anything in the tank to try and beat out 5th. He is safe, 10th off of Miller. He's not beating out 5th. Oh, he couldn't get to the line anyway. 55th and 3. Right at the end for Jensen, steals 3rd. Jensen right at the depth, steals 3rd. That was a good lap when he needed it the most. With that being said, let's see what we've got going on down the grid. So Badabig had a qualifying ban, then it's Inkyo in 14th, Bono and Nix 13th and 12th respectively. And you've got Finn in 11th, Mortal 10th, Perry in 9th, Yella in 8th. Yassar forgot there's 3 minutes max on the timer. Ahmed in 7th, Yassar in 6th, Miller's 5th, BX 4th, Jensen 3rd, Matty in 2nd, and yeah, I know Inkyo diaries. I call him Inkyo because it's easier to do so with the fact that his GT name is that. So I just find it easier to actually stick to the GT name. Yeah, then Matty and Attigren full out the front row for FGR. Also, I would like to say well done to Mumu as well for yesterday. I don't know whether this means a lot anything to him, but we were watching. The league had good eyes on that one. Well done on the work yesterday. But with that being said, I think that's cue for me to stop rambling and start to get things rolling here. 23 laps around Le Mans. I don't think anyone's got the chances. I am going to take the screenshots of the times. That way I don't have. That way I can keep them for later if we need them for anything for the league. So, with that being said, I think it's time to figure out what everyone's going to be on. Slipstream battle indeed. Absolutely is going to be a slipstream battle, and we're all here for it. Alright, let's go. We are about to get started here. Alright, let's see what we have in store, because we now have red light. 3, 2, 1. It's 5 red lights. It's lights out, away we go. Who's getting a better start? The answer is definitely not Atty, because he is really slow off this start. BX is going to lighten it up on his inside. He's dropped to 5th very much straight away. Matty from BX, from Millis at the moment. Jensen looking to go the long way round on the FGR driver. Someone's got, I think they just got pushed off the track in the background of the screen. Let's see if we can have a look here at the start. I think it was Yassar. It was Yassar that had the incident at the end of the first corner. We'll go back with the replay. And, oh, someone had a bit of an incident there. It didn't look good. It's Inkyo off the track, and we'll go and have another look at what just happened. Inkyo with Ono on the outside. I think he just got tagged by Badabig on the way through. Badabig catching him straight away. As we go toward the front, Jensen in third, BX is falling down the grid. As we head to the first chicane of the night, BX is well and truly out of the line of the 3 in front. Matty dropped off as well. Millis in second, Matty in first. Matty is getting help now from his teammate. Jensen needs to keep inside as much as he can. Try and keep that slipstream going. Well, BX, nice little camera angle there with Perry directly behind him. So Project Platypus with a chance to help each other out here. Fortunately, I think Perry decided that he didn't want to get the slipstream in the first part, or in that second chicane there. That is right behind him now. You saw after that. Few battles in this race so far. BX has caught right up to the back of Jensen, so that four-way is going to ensue once again. Down the straight here, with Jensen looking at the inside of Millis, and here comes Matty to box him in. Jensen still there on Millis. Millis has gone a little bit deep as a result, and Jensen takes second place. And Matty's the only one that's in front of him now, so he now splits the FGR drivers. I don't really know if he's going to be splitting them for much longer. Here comes Jensen on the outside. Millis is going to try and help Matty through. Millis is going to actually potentially take that second place back again. Jensen went for a move and forgot there's teamwork that's involved in this race. And let the FGR boys do what the FGR boys wanted to do. And you know, that's a mistake. That was definitely a mistake from Jensen there. And he now goes back to the inside of Millis. He's going to force the issue again. He's going to get himself ahead of Millis again. And you got Matty just getting a little bit of an advantage now. The longer this goes, the more it's going to benefit Matty, because Matty doesn't really have to defend at all. You've got side-by-side battles here between BX and Millis now as well. They fight for third, and also Jensen just about surviving out in front of those two. And it's Matty from Jensen from Millis, and then BX in fourth, Perry in fifth, Atty in sixth. We'll see if there's going to be any sort of movement in the last bit of the lap here. Jensen getting a little bit too shallow potentially. We'll do that just to get rid of the on the screen issue. That was a wide run there. I think that might have been Inkyo again at the back of the group, just getting far too wide. We'll wait and see. We'll go back and have a look potentially if we can. I don't think we can. No, we're too far back now. Millis right on the back of the red Leyden Mazda, the NWR car, just trying to get himself in position to fend off the FGR attack. He's actually going to do that by potentially going after Matty. A little bit of contact between the two. I don't think we're done there either. Jensen does stay ahead of Millis. It was not very convincing, however. These five are all very much on, well, nose to tail with each other. Actually, you might want to make it 6. I think Catty in the background's just getting himself involved now as well. Millis is definitely having to back off a little bit there, actually, off Jensen, because Jensen made a mistake. as he went into the end of the first sector. Jensen has now got a little bit of a gap, a little bit of the advantage on Millis, and now going after Matty yet again. But we are 6 cars in a train, and Jensen's going to have to bully off Millis here. Can he get himself in the lead? He has! He's got himself in front. Matty getting a little bit of a tap there from, I believe that's BX in the Aston Martin. It is. BX is a little bit deep, and Jensen's taking the lead. Well driven there by Jensen, to be honest with you, down the end of the straight. Matty is sitting duck. Needs to get help from his teammate now. Actually, it's Millis that's in second, so Matty needs to help him. You got BX and Perry in 4th and 5th. Perry is a lot higher than you would usually see him. Albeit that's becoming a regular theme. Matty and BX looking for 3rd, and I don't think BX has got enough right now to really force that issue. He's just going to have to wait a little bit longer. Whereas Yassar, we'll have a look at Yassar in a second. We are still pretty much nose to tail the entire grid down on Inferno. I've got multiple penalties there. Yellow's got 1, Nick's got half a second, Yassar in 9th has got half a second as well, so he might be going behind Mortal. And then Badabig in 11th, Bono in 12th, Armin in 13th, and Finn has a half-second penalty in 14th as well, with Inkyo with a half-second penalty, well and truly off the rest of the pack. Everyone else is right beside each other here. It's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. Jensen, however, isn't going to be here to figure it out, because he is checking out right now, and BX has got ahead of Matty, and that's Perry in the gravel in the background, and somehow still exists there on the inside. He's dropped to 7th, however, he'll take the place back off of Yella straight away. After the second penalty, he's going to kill any hope he had of doing much in the top 8. For Yella, and he's going to have to now defend. Well, him and Nick are going to have to defend from the cars behind. You've got Mortal and you've got Yassar trying to make their way through. Nick has got to defend. It's Yassar on the inside, and Yassar is going to make him pay. Take advantage of the penalty. And Nick's going to try and fight him straight back. We're going to go side by side here. And Nick is going to get in front. And here comes Badabig, switching to the inside, and Badabig's going to get himself up in the 9th. Taking advantage of the battle in front of him. Yella's going to get involved now as well. In the battle for, don't forget, these two teams are in that battle for second place in the team's championship. That was a very late shift from Yassar. And Yassar is able to hold on against Badabig, against Yella, sorry. But not the same against Badabig. Mortal also very much off the back of the grid, off the first pack. And under fire from Nick now. He's also got a half-second penalty he'll serve on this lap. And I'm going to be very intrigued to see what Mortal plan is now with a half-second penalty. Badabig is defending like his life depends on it from Yassar in the background with Yella after that. Not entirely sure what's going to happen here down the back, down the straight. Perry's backing up into 6th. Matty and Atty are going to have to work together here to try and catch back up with the front 3, because they're out of slipstream. It may take all 3 of them to work together to realistically get back into the fold. Not really sure if he's going to be able to do much of it. Here comes Atty defending from Perry. Perry's going the long way around, but not really getting a hold of it, getting any sort of grip of the move. We'll see. This front 6 has very much got themselves ahead of the rest of the pack, and Jensen even further out in front of the front 2, getting himself some daylight. Bomb drafting is allowed, yes. Bomb drafting is allowed. There is nothing against that. It's a team championship. You are allowed to work as a team. In terms of the bump drafting, the slipstream, all use it. There's no rules, no reason to police them, to be honest with you. If you're getting in a position to use it, you might as well. BX to the inside on Miller's here, looking for second place. Miller's gets a little bit slanted on the exit, and I think that might keep him involved here. Or is it going to be BX in front? It's BX in that Aston Martin in the acceleration. That keeps him in, well, gets him in front of Miller's and up in a second. We'll see. Matty's also getting himself back involved in this fight. The three FGR drivers in 3rd, 4th and 5th right now. They've lost a little bit of grip, the grip on this race since the start. I wonder if that's going to continue to factor in. They haven't been able to do that teamwork that they've been showing so far, that they showed in qualifying. They didn't really have the 3 to do it. And they are now, all 3 of them, right beside each other once again. We'll say that really should give them a massive opportunity to work together, get themselves back toward that front pack. Also have a fight going on in the background. Perry's in 6th on his own. He's got a teammate as backup now. Right behind Badabig, just ahead of Yassar, the Dutch the Dutch triplet here between Badabig, Yassar and Nick. They look for 7th, 8th and 9th and keeping themselves in that slipstream. They try and get back to Perry. If Badabig can get to Perry, they can work together to try and get themselves reattached to the front. Evening to Maxi, and yeah, he has gone. He has checked out. So far in this race, he has been, well, completely unavoidable at the moment. He's in control for certain. There's half a second for Ono in 13th. Then we've got Beaton in 14th. And Inkyo is still tailed off at the back. BX has caught him up. However, Jensen had checked out. And BX has well and truly caught him up. FGR have nothing in the tank to fight these two, apparently. Jensen and BX are in, well, we might be buckling up for one hell of a fight, because Jensen had checked out early, but BX loves this track so much. He is definitely one of the fastest people I've seen on Le Mans. It is freakish how good he is on this track compared to everywhere else. And he might just launch it. There he goes, and he takes the lead of the race. Right on cue as BX takes the lead. Don't forget, Project Platypus are fighting for 2nd place in Esports tonight. I wonder if there's going to be anything to this for Project Platypus. They've already got one in the top 5. The other 2 drivers are currently 6th and 7th. Millis has a half-second penalty. That's not good news to him. It'll bring him straight back to his teammates and even further tailed off the front. That's not going to help him even further. I think that might tack on an extra half a second. That looked very deep. It will tack on extra half a second. There you go. He's up to a 2nd penalty, so that's going to take him the other side of his teammates. At absolute best, that might bring him into the range of Perry and Badabig. That'll be very intriguing if that is what ends up happening. Looks like, I don't really know whether or not, yeah, Millis is just dropping off. Millis is going to drop right towards Perry, I think, here on this 2nd penalty. I wonder if there's going to be anything in this for Project Platypus, just to see if they can steal at least one FGR place right now. Hattie looking to the inside of his own teammate there. Millis has got back up the second advantage to Matty. Matty and Hattie, it sounds like the name of a tag team you'd see in wrestling. Here comes, there you go. So Millis has taken his penalty now. There goes one FGR driver. There goes a second. Will there be anything from Project Platypus here? I don't think there will be. I think he may just be too far back. Really make a move of this. Perry is too far back as they head into the Porsche curb there, and Millis is going to survive just about in the end. Three FGR drivers in third, fourth, and fifth. They just altered the order just a little bit there. Now they've got to do some defending. Bada Big and Perry, they're going to work together in the background to try and steal at least one place. Wonder they're going to be able to continue. Going to be able to work together to do it. Super in the Merc. Going through the final chicane on the lap. Wasn't too great there by Bada Big at all. He might come under fire now here from Yassar, who's currently in 8th. Everyone else just slowly and surely dropping off the pace. Lap 5 of 23 here. Doesn't look like anything is going to change through the first sector. Yassar's got a half-second penalty. He couldn't have afforded that. He is at the back of this train right now. He needed to keep on the back of this train, otherwise his race is going to fall into a little bit of obscurity, and it's exactly what it's going to do with a half-second penalty. Wonder how that's going to... Well, that's going to take him out of the slipstream 100%. Might bring him about 2 seconds away from Ahmed. That's never a good sign. In terms of where you want to be in this race, you needed the slipstream for as long as possible. I don't really know if there are going to be any moves here in the train in front. We got 3 FGR drivers and 2 Project Platypus drivers will seemingly go against each other here. The FGR drivers are trying to work together. Millis has just caught back up to the back of them. And we might see a lunge here from Perry to try and disrupt that train. He looked like he was trying to go for it. He didn't get it. He's going to need some help from Bada Big here to try and steal one off of Millis. Try and break that triplet for FGR up. We'll go to Jensen and BX in a minute. This is the closer battle. As we head down the straight, Perry is going to stay to the outside. Millis might have to go on his own teammate to protect his position. And he is going to go on his own teammate to protect his position. He's got past Natty. Or has he? He's alongside his teammate. The only issue is now one bump for Perry and Millis is out of position. Or is he ahead? He's ahead. Millis has got ahead of Ate there. And FGR navigate what would have been a very tricky circumstance fairly well in the end. Looks like we've got 3 or 4 wide there looking into the back there. Bada Big getting a little bit squirrely on the exit. Yassar will have a half-second penalty to serve right now as well. His teammate, the car behind him. Oh, no, not his teammate, sorry, actually got the colours mixed up. No, he races with Jensen, who's currently in second, and Inkyo, who's currently tailing the field, so he's definitely not being flanked from any teammate, I can tell you that much. Look, yeah, it looks like Bada Big has dropped off the back of Perry now as well. You saw 1.6 back Mortal after everyone just very split after that position. Yellow got 30 seconds. Well, that's never a good sign. I wonder what he got 3 seconds for. Was that a pit stop he just made? It was a pit stop he just made. Onto the medium tyres, and BX and Jensen are going in this lap. The Jensens take the lead again. Just about for now, but he does have the lead. Everyone is going in on this lap. Miller's had literally nothing left. Atty, the best of the fuel-saving bunch so far. Everyone but Nick and Yellow is going to go in, because they went in on the last lap. You've got Inkyo at the back. I think Inkyo had pit as well. He's currently on the soft, so the fuel only go half fuel only going 4 laps. Well, 5 laps. Sorry, it's a very interesting scenario now because the full tank goes 10, which means we definitely still have another pit stop coming. Regardless of what the scenario is now, we definitely still have another pit stop for every single team. Mediums for Jensen, mediums for BX. Everyone's just switching their tyre now. They all start on the soft, they're all going on to mediums. Seems to be a very standard 2-stop potential here then. Yeah, yellow after the penalty. It was Nick that went round not that long ago. Oh, Ahmed just picked up a half second there. Ahmed picking up a half second will give Ono a chance to make a move. Might bring Yellow into that battle as well, actually. I wonder if they work together, give themselves a little bit of slipstream here, Yellow and Ono, that they could both get Ahmed here on the penalty, if they even need to wait for the penalty line. Here comes the 2 Dutchmen down the back straight. Gonna have to give each other a little bit of help. See if Inferno can get through this. How well are they going to navigate this then? A little bit of a bump. That may have been slightly too late toward the end of the corner, but Arno's going to survive it. Nonetheless, they've caught right up to the back of the 2 Oil Kingdom driver directly in front of them. Looking good now for Yella and for Ono to try and take a position each. And they've got Mortal directly in front of that, so Inferno and 2 Oil Kingdom seem to be going at each other fairly reasonably at this point of the race. We're on lap 6 for those who have just joined us. BX has taken the lead of the race again. Ono still trying to catch up to the back of our men. We'll stick with these to see if they go early. And then we'll go back toward the front with BX and Jensen. Imagine there won't be too much in it for the FGR boys. They will have been working together to hold themselves against Project Platypus, however, I reckon. That's probably where we're at there. Looks like that Mortal in front. Not that far in front, admittedly. 1.5, so the slipstream will go away for Inferno as soon as Ahmed takes his penalty here. He's going to have to take the penalty now, right at the end of the, after Indianapolis, end of the sector, the penalty line. So, there you go, they're slowing down, appearing above Ahmed's head. Ono and Yella right beside that. And he's going to lose out to both of them. He is absolutely going to lose out to both the Inferno drivers here. Ahmed is going to take the penalty now. So through goes Ono. And through goes Yella. They both should get through. They will both get through. And there it is. Those two making the position up. With Mortal now 1.8 up the road. Nick is up ahead of Mortal, but not that 1.8 behind Yassar. The gap coming down very well there through the first of the Porsche curves. He's got himself a half second on Yassar. If he can continue doing that, Perry is cleared. Almost cleared Yassar, but Yassar has come back. And then we've got Bada Big ahead of Perry, right on the back of Millis, with Atty in front of him, and then Matty in front of that. Then you've got Jensen 6 seconds up the road from any yellow and white car at all. And FGR boy there right in the back of the shot. There's someone even ahead of Jensen because BX is checking out at the moment. 1.8 the gap. He is well out of slipstream, and given how much BX loved this track, I don't think he's going to relinquish that gap unless he's forced to. ALR. We've got all the hey drivers watching from the sidelines tonight. We got BX now 2 seconds up the road from Jensen, who's now extending that gap even further than Matty. The extra 8 tenths of input on the board against the FGR triplet here, fighting who are in 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Not that I think FGR. Well, I reckon FGR will still want to win the race if they can do so. They're put in the position to do so. But that's gonna take some doing if from this situation. That's a certain. The X losing a little bit of time on Jensen through that first straight. They head down towards the end of the second straight with BX. I reckon that gap probably won't kick in. It won't come much closer. It's by the big within slipstream, maybe just about. Either way, he's losing time, so the answer is more likely no than it is yes. Given the fact that 3 in front of them are working together, he needs help from Perry, so Perry needs to get himself involved, and he needs to get himself involved quickly. Also could preferably get Yassar involved as well. It's really looking a little bit out of the line there for Millicent. Not everything they're doing today is so far in sync. Most of it has been, admittedly, especially that qualifying sector had been well in sync. This straight wasn't. It's allowed Bada Big back into this, and I think it might be even less in sync now, because it looked like Gatti was almost going after Matty there. And that's a tongue twister. That's gonna get me at least once today, 100%, if it hasn't already. That's a certain. Bada Big's involved now. Bada Big is involved with the V3 drivers. He needs to get Perry involved, and potentially Yassar as well. To really push the issue. Because if he goes 1v3, these three will dispatch of him very quickly. Jensen 1.9 ahead of, 1.9 behind the X, and 7.5 now ahead of FGR. Matty not really got the same level of pace on the mediums than the good 2 in front of him. Looks like Bada Big just keeping in on Millis as well. Perry not that far off the back for slipstream. He needs a good Porsche curve, and he's going to get slipstream down towards turn 1 and onwards if he can get it. Probably wanted a little bit better than what he got. You're going to have to deal with Yassar now then, because he's not close enough to Bada Big in any way, shape or form to really push it home. And Bada Big cleared the second of him. 2.3 the lead now between Jensen and BX, so that gap just slowly but surely opening up. 58.8 to 59.5. That's 7 tenths of a second on the last lap. I think there was a penalty there, because there is a penalty there, and it's for Millis. 1 second on the board for Millis. Oh, that's not good. And all of a sudden, that triplet is gonna be dissolved by this penalty. Millis is going to drop behind Bada Big. Perry needs to get his finger out right now to get himself in position to overtake Millis here and make it a 2v2. Get in the position to do that, and your life will get a lot easier, because what's happened here? Oh, Jensen's having issues. Jensen is having issues. What has happened? Oh, he lost control of the car. He slid it. He slid it, did a full 360, and into the wall he went. Got damage on the back. There's a penalty in the back of the field as well. That's Perry with a penalty half a second. Jensen has finally shaken off the damage on the back of his car. Yassard's been cleared by quite some distance now as well. Badabik looking to the inside. He's not even going to wait for the penalty marker on Millis. Not even going to wait. Well, this is going to get interesting. Jensen's going to get 2 places back off both penalties straight away, so he'll go back into the top 5, but his grip on what would have been second is no longer there. Here comes Badabik to the inside. Perry push Badabik. You've got to get it over. Millis moved, but he moved too late. Perry just needed to be aggressive there. He just wasn't. I am not sure what possessed him to not go for that. But Badabik's up ahead nonetheless. Don't forget, Perry's got a half-second penalty. He could have easily defended, well, he could have easily attacked Millis down, not had much of an issue. Oh, that's not the greatest move there, Badabik. That was just... You can tell that was coming from a mile away. Jensen to the inside of Perry as well. That was a bad corner for Project Platypus. Badabik got played there from FGR. Moving on the moving to the inside was Matty to give Millis a little bit of a slipstream. Badabik should have just followed it. He should have just followed the car ahead. He's probably too worried about being boxed in that he played himself. And now he's got to get past them all over again. A little bit of dirt being kicked up, gravel kicked up there for Martin is currently in second place. We're about to see 1 second penalty for Millis kick in. And there is the second penalty for Millis kicking in. Moving off the line, we have a switch in position of Matty and Atty. Switching second and third. I don't know how smart that was. I don't know if Atty had a penalty. Either way, Badabik's just going to blow straight by. I would have to assume that Atty had a penalty. Because Jensen now going to look to the inside here. If this was just a team order, that was a bad choice. I didn't see a penalty for Atty down the straight. Which means I think that is a team order, and he got that heinously wrong if he has. That's allowed Jensen and Badabik right on through there. That's a questionable decision. Not going to help Millis anything, because Millis is behind Perry now after the second penalty. But just that had to have been a penalty if he cannot have made that decision willingly. Surely not. Oh, Badabik's got a second penalty now as well. Oh, Badabik, you had the chance. You had a glorious chance for a 1-2 here. For Project Platypus, but you've just blown it there with the second penalty. Jensen's going to have a real shot on the inside, coming down into the Dunlop and curves here. And now to the outside he'll go. Around the outside, trying to hang it in on Badabik. And the inside on the following corner is going to hand it to him. Either way, Badabik has got to work with Jensen here. Cannot see him as the enemy. He's got to work with him. FTR are a lot more dangerous now than Jensen is on his own. That's for certain. You'll remember the 3 white and yellow cars in the vicinity. We'll see if there's going to be any sort of teamwork against FGR here. It looks like there isn't going to be. Potentially 3 wide here. Matty doing well to hold off Jensen. Jensen definitely, very clearly had the quicker pace on the medium tyres than the group he's currently in. I'd like to point out that BX now has a 15.5 second advantage. 15.5 second advantage for BX right now. And Jensen is going to try and start cutting that back in. If he goes to the inside on Matty and he takes second place back, then he lost a couple laps to go. Badabik looks to the inside as well, and Matty's lost out too. Badabig up into third. He's got a second penalty. He'll drop behind both Matty and Atty at the very least. Potentially Perry as well. I think he might be safe to Millis in behind. We'll wait and see. Badabig gonna go past Jensen here. Again, they just got it. Why are they not working together against FGR? Oh, they're side by side. A little bit of contact on the way through. Badabig just seeing it as a method to try and build as much of a buffer for that 1 second penalty as possible. But they just cost each other time. The Millis and company in the back of the group, because Jensen's going to fight this back straight away. They should be working together. Jensen looked to try and make a move there, put back in. Now he's going to go for the move again to the inside on Badabig, but now the opportunity is going to open up for a Ferrari-sized car on the inside. It's not taken. The opportunity is starting to open up again. Also not taken there from Matty. I think that's Yassar in the background on Perry. Yassar's back involved in all of this. That's Badabig's penalty. He's not lost one, he's not lost two, he's lost 4 right now, 5. And his own teammate may be able to go past. He's lost 6. He was second, he's now 8th. Yeller and Nick not that far behind now either. 3 seconds for both of those. If they could get each other into a position where they can work together, they might be in a decent place. Just on the inside of the top 10 here. Mortal, Ono, Beetle and Inkyo again, you're not really involved in this one. No, 60.5 second advantage for BX. Yeah, he's eaten Jensen spinning, that's what he's eaten. He had a 2 second advantage until Jensen span it away. Jensen got himself back in the second, and that kind of details the pace between Jensen and BX from the rest of this group. The FGR boys have been right beside each other the entire time, and quite frankly, it's been... They don't really have the pace on the medium tyre that Jensen does at all. None of them. Therefore, by BX by extension. But BX absolutely adored Le Mans. I just never understood how one man could be so good at one track. And that's not a slight on BX. BX is good most of the time, but around Le Mans, he is another level. Just a complete another level. Matty, Atty, and then Millis in 3rd, 4th, 5th with Yassar after that. Now, it's good news for Jensen. I don't know why I said Jensen there. There's good news for Jensen, as Yassar is now going to be able to help him. Atty's going to head of Matty, and maybe a little bit of a team order there to get those two by and use Matty in the slipstream, because Matty is now pulled back out of it for some reason. And Yassar hit the car after that. They've got to work together here. FGR to defend now, because if Yassar can get past one of them, he is going to provide a lot of help to Jensen. All the talk of being in 2nd place and fighting for 2nd place in the championship, given that 1st is all but a foregone conclusion at this point. Yassar being up there with Jensen is a great place for NWR to be. You see that Mazda just clearing out in front of the group of yellow and white. Actually, it's being caught up a little bit now. That's 8 tenths to a second. That gap has come down quite rapidly. Down within 6 tenths, down within 3 tenths of a second now. Not entirely sure why that gap came down so much. Jensen's going to have to be careful now then. I wonder if it's a fuel issue. Either way, he was under fire now. Lost an entire second in essentially a corner. And he's going to be under trouble. He's going to be in trouble. He's going to be in a little bit of trouble here. Here comes Atty, the Finnish driver, to the inside. And he's up ahead of Jensen. Miller's trying to back out, see if he can get himself involved. But on the long way, he's all the way out there, and so is Yassar. Matty did the gravel as well. That was catastrophic of a corner there for FGR, but they've got away with it. Jensen's not going to care, because that gives him a little bit of breathing room. Matty's got himself significantly ahead. I wonder if this is if he's on a different fuel map now with Jensen. Because he is now pulled to the outside. Really don't know whether or not he's got anything in this one. He's in trouble here. Here comes Matty to the inside. We might have 3-on-1, and it is going to be 3-on-1. Jensen is just about surviving against the latter of them. They're still side by side. Yassar's going to have to give him some help. He's not going to get any because Matty's on that inside line. And Matty's through, and all 3 FGR drivers have got through on Jensen. Why is he so slow all of a sudden? No more fuel than the rest of the grid. That's very confusing. Not entirely sure why that is the case, why that happened. We're going to turn that off and then back on again. This is a very picturesque race, let's be honest. Through the point of this point of the race, you saw looking to try and take Perry back. He's also having to defend from Badabig. Badabig in 8th right now. Yassar has to keep himself involved. Has to keep within touching distance now of Perry in front of him, because Perry's holding Jensen at Jensen within reach, and then Jensen needs to try and get past Matty yet again. Oh, Jensen's got a penalty. Not a good lap or two there for Jensen in the slightest. It looked like Jensen to the inside, looking for a move on Matty, looking for the position. Up ahead of Matty before they even hit the corner. A little bit of contact on the way through. Matty is going to not be able to defend that in the slightest. Jensen now, if he is going to push, can get after Millis and try and hold that half-second penalty. And the damage that's going to come from the half-second penalty as little as possible. You see Atty there. All of these guys 20 seconds off the pace of BX. BX has well and truly driven off into the distance. Look at that. That gap, you can just see they're all in the second chicane. He's about to head down into the bottom of the Mulsanne Straight. There you go. BX, you can barely even hear the car. That's our second penalty for Atty as well. That is interesting now then, because he is going to go right beside Millis. Depending on how much that damage is going, that half-second penalty is going to do. Also, I don't think Jensen's cleared enough of a gap to even stay ahead of Perry here. Potentially, maybe not even Badabig, who's now got ahead of Yassar. Also, Yellow is well and truly involved now. Another lap of fighting, and he is on the back of this. Nick, however, has got a 1.5 second penalty in the back of the screen there, so he's definitely not going to get anything. Mortal and Ahmed both had penalties as well. Let's see if Ono can take advantage of one or both of those. The Bin is actually not that far back off the back of Ono anymore. Aries or Inkyo, whichever one you want to call him, is definitely struggling. Half-second penalty advance here. We've got a couple that served it earlier on, so we'll go and see where that places Jensen in a second. Is there going to be position gained for Ono in the back of the field? It looks like he's going to get one. He's certainly going to get one. He's going to have a run on Ahmed down toward the Porsche Courtier. Is he going to be able to have the overspeed to try and make it two? I mean, I think he could have potentially looked, but nothing really doing that. Let's see what happened to Jensen then. So Jensen's still ahead of Perry somehow. I'm not entirely sure how he's managed that. But he is still ahead of Perry, so again, 4 cars who really should be chasing FGR down here. It's also the 2 teams directly fighting for second in the championship up to this point. So I reckon you won't get any sort of teamwork at all from this, to be honest with you. We'll see if there's going to be anything in this for anyone at the back. Oh, here we go. You saw looking to the outside of Badabig. Nothing going. It is going to bring Yellow into this. Inferno have an opportunity now with the fighting in between here to pick off positions from 2 or 3 different teams. You saw the long way round on Badabig. He's still trying to fit himself in, but he really just cannot get past Badabig. With that being said, that might... I don't know if that's a penalty. That didn't look too deep there for Badabig, but it is going to be Yassar that had the run. There's a penalty over in front. It's for Perry. And Perry's got a half second, so he's now got to be careful. He's now got to be very careful here. The attempt to try and hold it together. Yassar almost clipping the back. Oh! And Badabig's hit his own teammate. And there's collisions galore. And it looks like Yellow's going to try and get them both. Yellow might have got all 3. This might have been brilliant from Yellow. Taking advantage of the carnage in front, he gets a triple. He might be getting swallowed up. That's what he might be doing now, but he definitely got the highlight there. He got the 3 on the inside. He is going to get swallowed up. I have to give him all back. Yep, that's exactly what's happened. Oh, he might get a chance to stay ahead of Perry, and he will. Retake the position over Perry, because Perry got that corner all sorts of wrong. Jensen is now ahead of Matty, who is, well, they're both tailed off the back of Millis now. About 4 seconds up the road. That gap has not been forgiving. The question is now, Matty, do you help Jensen and try and put yourself in a position to get top 2? Or do you actively be a nuisance to Jensen and help Millis and Atty get away? Even further than they already are. You can see them working together in the front of your shot. Jensen is wiggling round down the straight here, trying to put Matty off by the looks of things. Matty also doing the same now as he gets himself just ahead of Jensen as they head down into Indianapolis. And oh, Matty sliding his car on the exit. Doesn't really get punished for that, however. Not bad, a big right on the back of Jensen now. And you saw after that, they both come out of the line. They look like, I'm not entirely sure what the point of that was. For Jensen to come out the line there, maybe to protect him from Badabig, and maybe to give Yassar a chance, because Yassar's now on the inside. I don't think he's going to get it. I think he's going to get squashed out here from Badabig. Oh, Badabig might end up boxed in. He is going to be ended up boxed in. Jensen using his own car as a sacrifice potentially there. Well, that's what it looked like. He used his own car to try and box him in and get Yassar out in front. I just don't understand what Jensen's doing. I can only assume this is a fuel saving thing for Jensen, because he is struggling into the 4 minutes now. Hasn't done a 3:59 since the beginning of the stint. Yassar got a half second penalty. Oh my god. So Jensen and you coordinated yourselves ahead of Badabig, and then you get a half second penalty, almost kill it straight away. Badabig is 1.1 behind, so, and dealing with the cars behind him, there is a chance to get away. If you're going to do it, you're going to have to really do it now. This first sector, this second sector, you've got to get yourselves out of reach. doesn't look like they're doing that right now, to be honest with you. 1.25 seconds up the road. I mean, that is enough to save that half-second penalty. It won't get overtaken by Badabig, but it won't be enough to stay within Jensen. Within reach of Jensen at all. Now I'm particularly very confused with the strategy here from NWR, especially Jensen. Miller sitting all over the place there through the end of the second chicane, end of the first chicane, sorry, on the Moorsan Straight. And FGR 2 and 3 have got themselves a gigantic gap in second and third, and while they're not catching BX because BX could go have a tea and come back and probably still win this race, they're doing a very good job of holding second and third. Right now, Artie, Miller, there you go, right on the back of each other, 23 seconds off the lead now. Matty's got a half-second penalty, so did Yassar. Those two are within a second of each other now, so Jensen might have an opportunity to get back into fourth. And after all this, the insanity ensuing. Rain is possible, yes. Rain is possible, Le Mans. It is times 10 weather as well. And we are on times 10 time of day advance. Pretty sure. Should have been, anyway. We continue on. Just about halfway. Yassar and Matty both have penalties. Oh, he looks a bit shoddy there on the exit with the gravel being kicked up from the two drivers there. Jensen is going to get himself up ahead of both of them. Without much of an effort here, he should just blast by them both. And he is going to get past both. Yep, and he's up in a fourth. So he's up in a fourth there. Again, they are a long way back from the group in front. A four-way fight here for fourth, though. Absolutely massive fight for fourth place. And you've also got Perry trying to sneak his way onto the fifth. That's a little bit of contact through the corner from Matty. Yassar looks to try and get himself involved in the position right now. Not sure whether or not that was smart. We're going to go have a look. See if he's going to be able to pull it off. Down into the inside of the first chicane. And he gets it. He gets it. Yassar up ahead of Matty, and now NWR should be able to use this to get out in front of, especially of Matty, and if moreover the Project Platypus cars that are currently behind them. Don't forget, BX is currently in first, and the gap, well, it's a first, 7th and 8th right now compared to a 4th, 5th and last. I believe with only a 20 or 30 point advantage in the first place. Matty is now falling off the back of the cars in front. The gap to the lead is 24.25 seconds. BX is so far in front. He delivered about a half of the length of a pit stop. Or a half of a length of a real life endurance pit stop at Le Mans anyway. They are Artigren and Miller, who are a little bit of no man's land here. But I think they'll take that second and third right now. They don't really have much going on. They're just going to be able to fight it out between each other at the end. We've got Jensen still ahead of Yassar, who's now 9/10 ahead of Matty. They have got to get away. They have got themselves the position. They've got to get away now. It is 7 seconds up the road to Millis. They can see him. I don't know how quickly or if they're ever going to catch that 7 seconds up, but they can definitely clear their way up from behind. So push themselves out of that second reach. They have done that. And then push themselves towards Millis as much as they can. Bada big after that. And then you got Perry in 7th and 8th, right behind Matty, who splits the two teams right now. And Yellow's got a half-second penalty after he got himself involved, but he's just starting to drop back off. Nick, after that, has got a second penalty, so that's going to bring him straight to Mortal. It might actually bring him behind Mortal and straight to Ahmed. We'll wait and see. Ono has well and truly got himself involved in the fight between those, him and two other Kingdom drivers in 12th and 11th as well. So we'll see how multiple battles unfold as we go along. We might be seeing Badabik going past Perry, or the other way around actually, because Perry is on the inside and has got past Badabik. Teammates not putting up resistance to each other. Matty has got himself well back within the fight with Yassar and Jensen as well. And those two probably almost certainly would have liked to have got themselves away by now. Yassar has not been able to do so. A little bit of daylight for Jensen, but really not a lot in terms of daylight right here for sorry, just something flew across my face there for a second. But I had to sort that one out. Yassar looking on the outside now. Matty on the inside, switching for the following corner. And Yassar is going to defend ahead of Matty and stay like that. But now Jensen is sliding all over the place. In the Porsche curve there, we have a pit stop now for BX, which probably means the rest of the group may follow. In comes Millis with a second penalty already. Ati is in as well. Jensen into the pits. You have a lot less to put in this time. You saw after that with Matty and Badabig. Matty's got a look at Jensen's fuel. 11% already. Is significantly better at the fuel saving on that stint than the group around him, apart from Matty, who's gone in third and will almost certainly catch Millis for certain here. BX is already out the pits with a 25-second advantage with mediums on the car. It is not the two-stop I thought it was going to be. It's not the two-stop I thought it was going to be. It's the 955. It's 599 is actually a thing. Soft, medium for pretty much the rest of the grid. That's actually in Millis out on the medium tyres. It's soft for Jensen. Okay, so we have our first variance today. It's mediums for Matty, who's just been overtaken by Yassar again, who in turn is also on the soft. So you've got to try and get away now. I don't know if those softs are going to last 9 laps. Well, either way, you've got to push the needle all the way forward now. Let's see if there's going to be anything fighting. Yassar's clearing Matty already. He's not cleared him by enough to stop the slipstream here, however. It's about 0.8 of a second. Badabig's got a half-second penalty. Jensen and Yassar are starting to just try and edge into that gap a little bit. They're going to have to do it a lot early on. 8 seconds between Jensen and the FGR boys in second and third. Millis has a second penalty, so that gap's going to come down a couple of seconds at least. I wonder if that is going to it's going to affect how this one ends. 7.8 the gap now between Jensen and Millis out in front of him. Millis is obviously getting the slipstream effect for Matty in second. BX currently has a 23.5 second advantage. That's closing down actually a little bit from the guys behind him. Albeit I don't think BX actually cares, he's that far ahead in the first place. He's just going to try and drive this to the end. I don't really see a way that he doesn't win this race. He did very much the favourite in this in the Le Mans races, to be honest with you. I've very much learnt the lesson. Ati and Millis still right beside each other. They're going to switch potentially. Yep, they're going to switch the percentage now. You're now testing my ability to know what 30 kilometers an hour is in miles. To be honest with you, because I don't actually know. I assume the advantage is a rough estimate of about 170 mile an hour. So potentially do the flip side. The flip side calculation of that. I don't actually know the differences off the top of my head between miles and kilometers. And there goes Millis' second penalty then. That's a penalty for Badabig, who just served his. He's going to be overtaken now from Matty and by Perry as well, his own teammate. He's not going to get overtaken by anyone else. Yeller is still ahead of Mortal for 9th and 10th. Bono is going to take Ahmed. So Bono's up into 11th. Nice little running for him. Gain an extra couple of positions. Yeah, BX has very much just cleared the gap and just ran. He has disappeared. Matty is still just ahead of Perry. These two very familiar with each other. Also, furthermore, with Matty and Badabig as well. Isar's got 4 seconds up the road now from Matty, so he's very much in the clear. He's 1.3 behind Jensen, who's now 5 seconds off the back of Millis. So that gap is going to continuously come down. Millis is going to have to use all that slipstream off of Matty at this rate, because Jensen is closing that gap rapidly. I just don't know whether or not his tyres are going to the end, to be honest with you. The pit lane is far too long for the 3-stop, so he's going to have to, at the very least, trust that his softs can go to the end. I assume this is going to be full throttle the entire way. It's going to have to be full throttle the entire way. Don't really have much of a choice. 4.4 now the gap between Jensen and Millis. That first sector takes out another 0.6 of a second. Nisar is also trying to get himself involved, so we might see an NWR FGR switch at some point if they can catch up. Nisar actually, well, just about under that second, just about to come under that second mark. Perry and Matty. Okay, so Perry is ahead of Matty now. Matty down into 7th. Just starting to lose touch a little bit with the rest of the group. This set of 4 or 5 drivers now. It's actually a group of 4. Yellow's trying to keep himself attached to the back of it. Seems to be struggling to do so. Just dropped out a second marker. That slipstream is not going to be as effective now then, with Perry and Matty still going at it. Side by side down the hill, down the end of the Mulsanne Straight. I think it might be Matty who has the advantage. I don't know if Matty went a little bit early on the outside there. That might be half second. We'll see if the game is going to get that. Not entirely sure how early you can get away with it. And it looks like Matty is going to get away with it. Looked like he very much didn't cut the part of the track that gets the half second, because Perry is still there. Now on the outside, trying to go the long way round on that Ferrari. And does so. Gets it done. Matty down into 7th now then. Perry back up a position. Badabig's trying to force his way through. Perry's got to pull himself out here and give him the slipstream, and he does exactly that. Now Badabig can use Perry and does exactly that as well. He can use Perry and get the position, and Matty suffers again. And this is the reverse of what FGR was doing earlier on. They had the 3-man earlier on, so they were able to bully people around. They were able to work together to get whatever outcome it was they wanted. They don't have the numbers now, and Matty is outnumbered by Project Platypus drivers, and the Project Platypus drivers put the teamwork together to get rid of him. Well worked there from Badabig and from Perry. And Yellow's also looking to get involved in the fight. Into the Porsche curve, they don't really think he's going to have much of a chance now. Going forward, 3.5 seconds is now the gap between Jensen and Millis. That gap is flying down. Yassar is also very much there and thereabouts. If Yassar can get himself a little bit closer, use that slipstream, get a little bit of a boost, then these guys will cut that 3.5 second gap down so quickly. I don't even know the FGR guys will know what have hit him. If that is the case, he's got to get a good exit or two to get onto the back of Jensen. And he hasn't really managed out the final corner, that's for certain. But Jensen's still 0.6 of a second ahead of his teammate. The teammate needs to get close enough to bump draft now. About 0.3 of a second now between them, just under 0.4 actually. So Jensen and Yassar are going to get very close to each other and potentially now bump draft each other right up to the back of Millicent. This could get very interesting because for once, Jensen is about to go to war with the FGR drivers and he's not outmanned. He has been for large numbers of this season, but he isn't anymore. The X now has a 28 second advantage out in front, so that buys a gain the 5 seconds back. 2.4 the advantage from third to fourth. Perry and Badabig just starting to eke out a small advantage to Matty corner by corner, but it isn't enough to stop the slipstream yet. As soon as Matty gets... oh, it's a half-second penalty for Matty! It's a half-second penalty for Matty, so Yeller is going to inherit a position here. Now, if I was Yeller, I'd use Matty here. A little bit of bump drafting to get right up to the back of Badabig and Perry. Because if you can get up to the back of those guys, you won't lose the slipstream when it comes to that penalty being served at the end of the lap. And the longer you can keep tabs with the Project Platypus cars in front, the better this will be for Yeller in trying to get himself that 6th place. It would be a decent sign-off for Inferno to get that 6th. Not sure he's going to be able to do it. Not down here, he's not, that's for certain. He's got to get himself closer. He is right on the back of Matty. They are right on the back of Badabig, so he'll keep the slipstream regardless of what happens. Unless these next couple of corners are swing the pendulum once more. We'll see if it is going to. That nice evening sun. And that time 10 may not have been enough. Here comes Matty to the inside. Matty has got a good run there and he's made it work. He's given himself a little bit of a buffer here. Badabig was caught sleeping. Matty gets a little bit of a tag there from Badabig as well, and now serves his penalty by going onto the grass and barely keeps his car going. He's going to drop all the way down though, however. And Yellow is going to be the big winner out of all that because he gets a couple. Or is he? Here comes Badabig to the inside. Badabig looking to hold on. He's going to hold on against Yellow and he's back up in the 7th. Perry's got himself a bit of a gap here. Yassar is right on the back of Jensen. Jensen is now right on the back of Millis. And there we are. The 2x2. FGR's Millis and Atty. NWR's Jensen and Yassar. It'll be moral victories if Jensen can get in front. But I reckon he'll take the moral victory right now because it probably also would secure them second in the championship. It doesn't look like there's much going on there through that first sector, but he is within the second mark now. That slipstream is going to kick in. I'm not entirely sure how I got this so wildly wrong in terms of the numbers. Either way, I'll know that for next time. But either way, 0.4 of a second now split the two. It's going to be a bit of a struggle now for Millis, who had lost a lot of touch with Atty. And here comes Jensen. Here comes Jensen. A little bit of a bump draft, if nothing else. I don't know if Millis moved over the block, but he definitely held that position well. It looks like a half-second penalty for Yassar. That could not have come at a worse time. That could not have come at a worse time if he tried. As they trying to get themselves involved in this fight, and as soon as he did, he got himself a penalty to contend with. Jensen to the inside of Millis. Had got ahead of Millis. He got one. He's looking for a second. I don't really know if he's going to get it. It's going to be close. He's going to be fighting with Millis down the straight here. And if only Yassar was close enough to help him out. They're all within a second of each other now. Jensen got the inside line into the end of the Mulsanne. I don't know if that's enough to hold on. He's got contact with Millis nonetheless. It lets Yassar through as well. Not sure how clean that was, but that was either way, they're both on through. Looks like Millis is going to try and look to the inside now, and Yassar at least. He's going to be under fire. He's going to have trouble with doing that because Yassar is doing a nice job of defending. Jensen's going the long way. Yassar's taking the short route up the hill. Millis has got himself a bit of an issue. He's managed to keep his car going, but it looked like he dove very much to the inside. Maybe lost a little bit of traction there. And Yassar's got the half-second penalty, so Millis is going to go straight on by. I don't know how much Millis is going to break the gap. One thing's certain, they're barely keeping tabs with Jensen in third. I wonder if that's going to continue on. Yassar's going to have to do it all over again. He's going to have to get past Millis all over again. They've managed to get out of the, Jensen's now got out of the slipstream. And Atty is the car directly in front of that 1 second ago. Yassar with Millis looking for a move. Looking for a way back through on something he already had and lost it with a penalty. We are ending the season in the dark. We are definitely ending this on in the dark here. Miller still ahead of Yassar for now. We don't know how long this is going to last. Will it rain? No idea. Can it rain? Probably. But it can rain. It isn't likely to at this point. We've only got 4 laps to go. The dullness you see is dark. It looks like a half-second penalty for Millis. And Millis is going to get himself in. Well, he's going to have that position given to Yassar here. The real question is, when is it going to be? Because I think Yassar is going now. And Yassar is going to go now. Yassar's tyres are starting to look a little worse for wear. I wonder how badly they're going to look come the end of the stint. Jensen is still right there with Ati. Ati is just 1.1 seconds clear for now. BX now 29.5 seconds out in front. Absolutely insane. 29.5 seconds BX out in front of the group. Never looked back after Jensen's span. Never looked back. Because Jensen for a large period of time there looked like he was going to be able to keep up. He definitely didn't in the end. Millis is going after Yassar here. Yassar makes one move. There's the racing line move. Millis can go for it now if he wants to. He can't move to the inside of block. And Millis gets a lot of contact on the inside there of Yassar. But it's, I guess, turnabout of fair play. Yassar is not happy. He is flashing his lights. He is not in any way, shape or form happy with that. But again, you've got to remember that it is somewhat similar from Jensen the prior lap. It'll be very interesting then to see if that can happen. Yeah, the flasher, he definitely was not happy. He's still flashing him. There goes Millis's penalty, and he's giving that play back under the penalty, which is not actually giving him back the total. So if there's a penalty coming from the stewards, it'll stand. Not take the half second off for that. Yassar is for some reason still flashing. Jensen is within the second mark now. He's got probably a couple of laps before his tyres start dying off. He's going to have a couple of chances to go after Ati for second. It'll be some to do with a button, with the button. If he is on pad, it'll be to do with a button. If he's not on pad, he is pissed off with Millis. I honestly think it's probably a bit of both. Wasn't particularly kind from Millis in the corner, admittedly. Ati is now 0.8 of a second ahead of Jensen. Jensen looking to try and get second to end off the season, both in both this race and the team's championship that goes with it. He's actually over a second behind now. It looks like every single time he gets closer. Wait. Oh no, the camera angle just stopped dead for a minute then. I thought we had a bit of an issue. We will have a bit of an issue though. But it isn't for Jensen. It's for Ati. He's got a half-second penalty. Yassar, also the recipient of one there. So he might come under fire from Millis by the end of this one. At the end of this lap. Badabig and Perry, 6 or 7. They've covered themselves off. Immortal's got himself into 8th now. Yeller in 9th. Matty in 10th. After he's just fallen off the edge of a cliff. Honor's got a penalty in 12th. An entire 1 second with his teammate directly behind that. And Inkyo has... Yeah, he's struggled. Yeah, he has very much struggled in this one. We'll see. Ati 1.4 seconds up currently on Jensen. He's just getting a little bit more and more corner by corner now. So Jensen's tires are starting to wear down just a little bit. Might have something to do with the colder run in We aren't going to get the rain. We aren't going to get the rain in the end here, I don't think. Looks like Jensen 1.4. I don't think that's enough. I don't know if that's close enough for Jensen to get at you here, to be honest with you. Guess we'll wait and see. You saw 2.2 off back is ahead of Miller's by 1.5 seconds. That should be enough to hold on. Each corner we go. Oh, that's kicking up a little bit of gravel there from Atty, and that's actually 4/10 given up. Well, if he was going to survive before, he might not now. Jensen just getting a lifeline a little bit there. Is he going to be able to get in front? You can see the headlights, he's closing in. And he is. He's going to be in front. Atty's going to rue that 0.3 of a second that he gave up on the corner very much prior. And into the Porsche curve, Jensen's going to steal second from him. Atty's going to stick with him the entire way. Jensen's going to get something by the time we hit that first sector. Because if he doesn't, he's going to be in trouble. Atty's going to look to the outside of the chicane. He's not even going to wait until the first sector. He's going to go now, but he's not going to get the move. Just trying to put Jensen off. Jensen's going to get a better exit. The slipstream's starting to kick in. You saw also right there with Millis. One was able to survive, the other one not, with their half-second penalties. SGR being beaten out in both ways by NWR right now. A statement potentially for next season. If there is a statement for next season, I think it might be coming from the guy in front. Quite honestly, I think your statement is definitely coming from Project Platypus tonight. And Millis is right behind Yassar again. Atty is well off the back of Jensen, getting a little bit too much grass under the wheels. And he gets 1.5. Atty gets 1.5's worth of a penalty. And there goes any chance of catching Jensen. He gave up 1.2 seconds in a couple of corners. He's given up an extra, 2.5 to 3 seconds on the penalty at the end of the lap. Jensen's going to be clear of quite some way. Atty's going to be behind Millis. Only fortunate for him is Perry's far too far back on these guys and has a second penalty himself. So Badabing is going to be the one that here inherits 6th. Yassar and Miller side by side. Side by side down the straight into the second chicane of the Mulsanne. And Millis is ahead. No penalties this time between the two, so this is just Millis getting ahead of Yassar. We'll see if there's going to be any fight back here from Yassar. One thing's a certain, Atty is in trouble. There you go, see in the background the headlights starting to flash up on the Project Platypus drivers as Yassar goes to the inside, looking a little bit deep, still hangs on, makes the corner, but he's going to get overtaken again because Millis has such a better run. Out the exit, it's all about being fast out the corner, and that's exactly what Millis was there. Took advantage of Yassar just being overzealous. Saw the move, was trying to steal it. Millis is just putting his car on the inside now, comes back to the racing line. Yassar has no fight for it. Yassar looking to the inside now. Looks like Mills is just ahead of yourself, 4/10 of a second then. GT7 is penalty now, so who's going to go by? There's the FGR car of Millis. Is he going to be able to get by? Or is Ati going to get sped up quick enough? Millis is going to get by. Is Yassar going to get by? Yassar's got to go to the inside here. Doesn't go for it. So Yassar doesn't catch up to him past Ati. Look at that. Millis ahead of Ati. Ati stayed ahead of Yassar, so the 1.5 second penalty kind of actually worked out in the end for FGR there. Because Millis a bit of breathing room, and Yassar didn't get either of them. Jensen has very much cleared the way now. BX is now almost 34 seconds out in front. We'll see. Now with Yassar, they're going to fight out. Bada Big ahead of Perry. Perry still comfortably ahead of Mortal. Yeller after that. You know, Matty in 10th, Ahmed in 11th. We might see Matty potentially drop out the top 10 here. Lano in 12th, Nick in 13th. Those two could work together to try and see their way back onto the back of Ahmed, but it might be too late. And the two at the back well and truly tailed off. So we will go back to the three-way fight here. Ati's just getting a nice little toe. Nice little toe from Millis. It's protecting him from Yassar. Yassar just starting to fade. The longer it goes, the longer this is benefiting FGR on the medium tyres. Millis didn't look too confident out of the first chicane there in the Mulsanne straight, so he might need to get some help here from Ati down the second. You see Jensen in front, but Jensen is very much clear. I don't really think they're catching that. Even if the tyres die on the final lap, it would have to be puncture level dead for that to change hands. There's a second penalty. There's a second penalty for Yassar. It's a second for Yassar, and that'll call that dead. Yassar is not going to get that then. I know, right? What could possibly go wrong? It's almost like it's the easiest straight to get right in terms of bump drafting. FGR put on a clinic of how to do the bump drafting earlier on in qualifying. Yassar is in trouble. He's not going to end lower than 5th, but he isn't going to get anywhere near the FGR drivers anymore now, especially with 1 lap to go. That second penalty is going to kill any chance he had off. BX 34.5 from Jensen in second, 3.5 clear of Millis in third, and then Ati in 4th. They might get licensed to fight on this final lap. You got Yassar just about to serve his second penalty. It'll drop him probably about 2.5 seconds away from the pack. And about a big 11 seconds there with a half second of his own. Then it's Perry following him, who's ahead of Yellow, and then Mortal behind Yellow has a second worth of penalties. So Matty is going to get himself an extra position. There's a half second penalty for Ahmed, but Ono is realistically not kept up on this lap. So it's not going to do anything, that half second penalty, unless he gets another one. And there you go, we're on the final lap of the season with BX. And this one was never really in doubt. With Jensen there in second, he's so far in front, BX. He's about to hit the end of the first sector. before Jensen gets to the line. He is actually an entire sector of Le Mans ahead of second place. It just is absolutely ridiculous. Millicent in third, Ati in fourth, in what is definitively a victory lap for FGR now. 4 minutes left for those guys to roll round the circuit. And get themselves over the line for a back-to-back. A successful defense of their title. Something that has not been done in ALR since the inception. It could not have happened, well, since we went to more than one GT on a Monday. Never mind just esports. So in what is the better part of, what, about 20 combined seasons, it's not been possible to do a back-to-back. Rather, no one in the 6 seasons of esports have managed it up until right now. They're going after Jensen. Jensen's 1.4 up the road. Would be icing on the cake to get the NWR driver back. I don't think they're going to have enough time to do it. VX is already at the end of the Mulsanne straight. VX is actually almost in, well, not that far of a position of lapping someone at Le Mans, which is absolutely insane. Millis is just squirreling too much to catch Jensen at the moment. We don't really have any other fight down the grid. Matty is ahead of Mortal. And it's Ahmed after that. Ono is 1.3 seconds off the back of Ahmed. So if Ono had had a good lap on the last lap, he would have probably got Ahmed here. We're going to go back to this for a split second. Ati is going to try and survive on the back of him. Let's see if he actually goes and fights Millis, or whether or not these two are going to try and work together as much as possible to get Jensen. They are well and truly running out of time in order to do that. We are almost at the end of the lap with, with Inkyo about to start his final lap. And then we've got BX directly behind that. He's about to head into the Porsche curves one last time. Absolute dominance in terms of the victory for BX. Look at that, through the Porsche curves. He has never really been touched. It's been 20 laps of quite solitude driving here for BX. Early on they were fighting, he's driven off since then. And in what might be a potential statement for next season, Project Platypus is going to win the final race of the season and potentially look back to 4 with BX over the line to win Le Mans. Jensen's currently in second, but we're not going to focus too much on him. We are going to focus on the cars behind, because as I was saying earlier, I'll repeat it again, there has been no duplicate. There has been no successful defense of an esports title. There has been no successful defense in 20 seasons of ALR. But we are about to see the first one as they come to the line. FGR looking for 2 corners to go with Millis in third. Jensen's going to get second for NWR, but it's FGR's day. Ati will get third, Millis will get fourth, and they will win the championship yet again. Back-to-back world champions. Class drive there again from FGR. And they really put the sword to everyone else this year. Never looked in doubt. Yassar will get 5th, Badabig will get 6th, Perry will get 7th, Yeller gets 8th, Matty 9th, Ahmed 10th, Ono in 11th, Nick in 12th, Mortal in 13th in the end. I'm not entirely sure what happened to Mortal there. Finn will get 14th, and Inkyo's in. Inkyo was in. What do you call it? I've forgotten how to explain it. We had the hazards on. So he was in pause. But then, once again, as we watch Inkyo come, through the final lap of the season, in the dark, in the pitch black. I apologise, by the way, for it not going to early morning. I may or not have miscalculated that ever so slightly. Because I wasn't assuming it would take an hour and 35. I thought the race was longer. But with that, either way, multiple times champions. They join an exclusive club with just Project Platypus in that department. But even then, Project Platypus never did it back to back. They won Season 1, they won Season 3. And, we go 5 and 6 for FDR. You can put it in the record books. You can put it on the title. They more than deserved it this season. NWR put up a fight for a long period of time, but especially last week where they had the one driver down, when you saw was late. They really could fight back after that. And there you go. Never even got to the end with Inkyo. And we will take the picture. BX literally seconds quicker than anybody else, apart from Yassar, on that track there. That is absolutely insane. In terms of the fastest lap, 40 seconds advantage in terms of the actual race itself. What looks like a potential step back to form maybe for Project Platypus, that they look to mount a fight for next season. But this season there was no stopping them. There is no means to an end. There is only one back-to-back champions. And that is FGR. Feel Good Racing on top of the world once again in ALR. And with that being said, we're about to add all the new captains to the chat. The next season will start the end of October. The final week of October. You have 4 weeks. 4 or 5 weeks now to regroup, get any new drivers you wish to get, and see if you can push the charge next season. Or will it be FGR mounting the triple? Until then, we will see you in a bit.